Okay, we're live.
We are live.
Bam.
Given the green light. What's going on, fellas?
We need a green light button,
We do need
like
that.
in the back.
It is a little confusing because the record light is red, but in my mind, green should be record. Green's off.
Green means go.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I guess you think of it as if you want to hit red, it would stop.
Yes. Great way to start the podcast.
Great way to start the podcast. That's very meaningful.
What's going on, guys?
Life is good.
It is what day is it? January 13th, Tuesday. So I don't know when this is going to go out, but we've now been live for 2 weeks. 2 episodes have come out. And
3 if you count the intro.
3 if you count the intro. That's correct.
We're listing it as episode 3. So.
That's correct. So we are rocking and rolling.
Episode 3 was just this famous guy that just has an
unreal
awesome
golf career.
Story about integrity.
I
did get a text message from somebody
really
that
just
appreciated your integrity.
That's great.
My favorite text that we got was seeing that your mother-in-law was just putting us out there, just spreading the word.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her yet.
Absolutely.
Was that on YouTube?
Thank her.
I think it was on YouTube, wasn't it?
It was on like Slack or something, Teams, something. She was putting it out
Internal.
there.
Where does she work?
Internal.
ACC.
Okay.
So she was sending it out to the staff there. I guess I haven't seen it, but I think Miles might have preached on anxiety or something. I'm assuming because she
did.
posted that clip. So
He did.
yeah, it's been fun to see it out in the wild. You know, we've gotten like 18 views total, maybe.
That's it? Surely not.
Brock, no, it's more than that. It's nothing to. We're not doing anything crazy here yet, but it's been very encouraging. We've really appreciated all the people that have reached out. Just kind of reinforces why we're doing this when you get the encouraging text. So anybody that has, very thankful for that. It does go a long way. Like if you thought, may not send this, it goes a long way, and it was very encouraging to us when we got those. So we all appreciate the shout outs that we got. We appreciate even just the small things like liking the video. It all helps out and continues to get the message out there. But
That's right.
it's been a ton of fun. I think Summer and I were actually talking about this. She was the one that pointed it out to me, which I appreciated. Wives are awesome for that. But we were talking about probably 2-3 nights ago, sometime after the 3rd episode was released, and I was just walking through with her what an encouragement this had been, how much the Lord's used even just filming a few episodes and releasing a few episodes in my life. And what she pointed out was just all the change that just even the 3 of us have had since August when we first recorded. And just...
That was the first episode?
I think we first recorded in August when we did the intro or something.
6 months? Wow.
Yeah, I guess it was. I was trying to think about when me and Grant interviews were, but the intro was prior to that, so yes.
Yeah, I think it was August. Maybe it was September.
Yeah.
It was...
Lots of change.
Regardless, it's been a few months,
for sure.
and if anything, maybe it's been less time. But even since then, we've had a lot of change. I've got a baby on the way that I didn't know about in the first episode we recorded. You guys have had a few different things going on.
So that has been released. I couldn't remember if that was the second. I thought that was the second video we recorded together. It wasn't the first. It wasn't the intro. We haven't released that video. It's being released, guys.
My point is, when we recorded the first one, I didn't even know I had a baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We mentioned in another episode later that I was having one, but when we first recorded, I didn't even know that Summer was pregnant. All that being said, she was just reminding me of how much change we've all had, how much our circumstances have changed, and how it seems like a lot of those different changes and circumstances happened around times that we were working on this, and we would come in and then we would all just talk about it. And, just this applies to so many different things in life as a Christian, but when you're saturated with the word and you're even just like dwelling on things that are pleasing to the Lord, it's going to affect the rest of how you're thinking about other things. And so when I was going through, and same for y'all, I would assume, but I'll speak for myself, going through different changes and stresses, and then we come in and I'm going to sit here and try to talk about trusting the Lord with what he's entrusted us with and being good stewards no matter what our circumstances, in good times and bad times, in all the different things. It's all from him. Every time I'm driving over here to talk about one of these things, whether it's a good day or a bad day, you just can't help but think, okay, well, I'm going to sit here and talk about this. Am I actually living it out? And so I appreciated Summer kind of pointing that out, that we really have had a lot of change through this process, and it's been really fun to learn about all the different guests, kind of see God's sovereignty woven throughout all of their stories, and even more so just the change in the three of our lives in this time. Y'all agree with all that? What would y'all say?
Yes. I can't believe it's been whatever, 4 or 5 months since we first recorded. We started with a white room in here. We moved to a dark room. Now I'm in the process of moving. So that's a big change. Our podcast studio is going to have to change. We're adapting on the fly. And yeah, I agree. I think that's just speaks to, I mean, for us in this setting, it's been with microphones in front of our face and headphones on. But I mean, just the day to day, we're just sitting here kind of conversing and just turning the electronics on. But we would do this regardless of what this part of it, right? So just living in community with one another and just doing life, you know?
No, I agree. A lot is changing though.
It is.
We talked about this beforehand, but along with Blayne moving in Auburn, right?
Yeah, just staying in Auburn.
I'll be moving to Birmingham at some point in time in the near future. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
I have an answer prayer.
But I mean, it really wasn't in the cards.
No, it wasn't
in August, September.
Yeah,
so a lot has changed, but it's going to be good, and so it has been fun to do. And
Brock's going to be
be along the journey with me as well, and kind of it's been good. So
going to be a remote traveling member of the Entrusted podcast.
I will be down here when we film.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out how this can work. It's probably going to force us to get our virtual setup done.
No, I'll be down here.
No, he's going to literally have to get in his car and drive down here. That's on him.
And I'm sure.
Hey, he's going to have a rental house here now.
It's true.
He can go stay in his own rental.
I'm sure there's people that are entrusted with great things in Birmingham. So I would love for y'all to venture up there.
We'll come.
If you got a studio for us.
Yeah.
You're going to have
an Auburn studio. We'll have a Birmingham studio. And then an Entrusted helicopter service to take us back and forth.
When are we flying to Texas? I thought we were going to do that one day.
Well, we talked about that. See, that's, again, things have changed. We talked about that before I had a baby on the way, but now I will probably have people from Texas flying here that we
That's true.
That's a good point. I can't go to Texas. I have lots of great golf trips planned this year.
Really? Where are we headed?
Well, I'm
Pebble
going to
Beach?
Yes.
Knew it.
Going to West Palm Beach in February with a great group of guys and some fabulous golf courses down there. Then I'm going to the Monterey Peninsula, hopefully, for Cypress Point and Pebble Beach. And then I'm working on a trip to the Northeast to some pristine golf up there.
All of this business, some pleasure, all pleasure?
No, a little bit of everything. It's when I play golf, it always involves both those things, period. Because it's fun, it's relational, and relationship can always lead to networking. And networking can always lead to business, which is a big reason why I moved this way, because golf is a vehicle for that. But I'm checking off some like bucket list golf courses this year.
So you've never played it?
No, I haven't
Pebble
played some of these places. I've played Pebble, but I've not played Cypress Point. And yeah, so I'm really excited.
I got something I want to ask you about. I'm going to just
hit it.
We're going completely off here.
Off of golf.
As long as I've known you, and this is probably something you had in your back pocket that
How long
I didn't.
have you known me?
3 years, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I think
It was
3
just a
years.
test. So I knew the answer.
I think you did. Anyway, I mean, so I haven't known you forever. So again, you lived a lot of life before we knew each other 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. But in that time period, I didn't know you to be much of a hunter. But your Instagram over the past month or two would beg to differ. So can you just tell us about this new endeavor, or maybe old itch scratched? And the reason I thought about it is I'm looking over and you've got the orange.
Yeah, got the decoy hat on.
You've got the decoy hat on. So
It
made me think about it. And the listeners would love to know. They want to get to know us. I actually had someone text. They were like, "This has been so fun, but we want to know the host a little more."
Yeah. Okay.
So
this can be a get to know the host night. I grew up.
Well, there's a whole episode about Blayne, so maybe about get to know us. Maybe
we're gonna get this is gonna happen.
Back to hunting. Back to hunting.
This is gonna happen to all of us.
I apologize.
I was gonna ask a really stupid question about something in your personal life day to day, like something that would make you uncomfortable, but I couldn't think of something. Grew up with no outdoor hobbies at all. Like we were
golf is outdoors, but I got you.
But like
no, I know. But just to clarify,
hunting, fishing, hiking. Like,
have you ever played indoor golf? Not much.
Correct. Yeah. No, like redneck outdoor endeavors.
Okay.
But grew up around a lot of friends that did. Then when I got to my adult life in Auburn post school, a lot of my friends were outdoorsmen, hunted, fished, all that stuff. So I got exposed to it. Found bow hunting when I was like 23-ish. And I've only ever bow hunted. I've never shot a deer with a gun. I've only shot a handful of deer with a bow, but I love it. It reminds me of golf in a lot of ways. It's very tactical and it's a challenge. It's hard to conquer, and you're constantly shifting variables and you're trying to pattern the deer and figure them out. And then I've never had a place to hunt. That's a big part of hunting. Because if you get invited, you just kind of show up and hope you see something, versus like having a place to go regularly. You can see the same deer, figure out where they're going, kind of find the right spots, all that. And some good friends finally gave me, not finally, in my mind, I finally found somewhere they were gracious to give me access to hunt a piece of property that they own. And it's just been so fun. So my kids have been out there running around, putting cameras out, putting corn out. And that happened in mid-December. So I've been hunting for like a month.
I mean, you seem to be all in. Based on Instagram, I've seen more hunting from your Instagram than golf, CrossFit, and really some of your other interests. I think I've seen mostly hunting in the past.
In fairness, the totality of my posts in the last 6 weeks have been 7 Entrusted posts and like 2 hunting story pics sitting in a tree stand. So like, not really a fair sample size.
How was your CrossFit golf deal? Did you ever do that?
We didn't do it. Had a lot of interest, but people procrastinated signing up, and it was kind of short notice.
Yeah.
And
I had forgotten about that.
So we kind of punted to potentially doing it later this spring.
Cool.
So
when everyone starts to get the itch again.
Exactly. And just to have a little bit more runway to get to it. But anyways, I mean, if anything I do is 0% or 100% usually.
You need to do it after Masters Sunday, like the weekend after. That's like the height of everyone's golf.
Like excited
interest.
About golf. Yeah, that's true.
Everyone. I mean, myself, I'm the worst golfer in the world, but I hit the range every year the weekend after the Masters because I get really excited, and I'm like, this is the year.
That's good intel.
This was really fun to watch.
It's just funny. When people watch the Masters, they're thinking about the golf. I'm thinking about how I can sell a Peter Millar pullover for double at the shop on eBay. That's just the different.
Just mind. The entrepreneurial mind. Just spinning,
I guess, but
spinning.
That's so funny. I do like the Masters. Is nice to have just in the background.
Oh, well, it needs to be in the front ground. It needs to be like right there.
I mean, at work. I'm sorry, I was thinking more in the TV in the back office. But
I remember in college, I think my senior year, first, I'd had an iPhone for a year or two. And you could stream the Masters starting Monday, like on the range, interviews, whatever. And it was back when data was limited and you weren't connected to Wi-Fi like everywhere you went. And so I remember I reached my data limit for my month, like Tuesday afternoon. And I was like, oh boy, what? Ooh. And so master streaming, that's just the first time I remember like streaming something obsessively, and ran out of all my data in like a day and a half.
It's crazy how the data thing has changed. I mean, it was, you were, I feel like, what was a good amount of data when we first had phones in high school? I feel like it was really low.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even have a clue how much data
The first time I
now.
knew someone that had an unlimited plan, it was like, you spoiled brat.
It makes you wonder, like,
And now I don't know many people that don't have unlimited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if they had that technology back then and they just were trying to milk it for. I mean, think about TVs. TVs used to cost $1,500, and now you can go to Walmart and buy an 85-inch for $485.
I know, it's crazy.
I'm like,
It's crazy.
what about the TV in 2006 that we paid $2,000 for?
I know, right? Yeah.
I mean, goodness,
It's wild.
it is wild.
So anyways, I've been hunting. It's been great. I love it.
On the habits or
New Year's
different.
habits.
Well, no, we're going to cover that one in the latter
on
half
your
of
list?
this. That one is on my list. We'll cover that in the second cut.
New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, that's a whole thing we'll talk. But
Sweet.
what I
Okay.
want to talk about, the listeners are probably dying to hear if they've seen the episode where we talked about this at this point, which I think they have. Where are we on your fitness journey, Brock?
Yes.
Slow down. Now,
Slowed down
Like,
or non-existent?
Completely to a halt.
The people want to know.
I mean-
we've put this. This is the thing now. Now this is another thing we can talk
Does
about.
dumbbell-
We've put
Accountability.
We've put all this on the air. We are now putting stuff out to the public.
Oh, yeah.
And your
Zach,
fitness
also, I
journey's out
brought you
there.
a chair if you want it. You can walk in front of the camera and people can see you.
They'd
and
love
then
to
can
see what you
sit.
look like.
Okay.
Okay.
He's
So,
like
fitness journey, Brock.
I mean, I have not been back to Blayne's since.
You haven't since you puked.
I came after 1 week.
You
after
did.
that.
That's right. Puked. Finished the workout though.
I did.
Came back another time.
Yep.
Haven't been back since.
I have not. No, I have not started working out since then. So, I will do an occasional
Period or
I mean, I would do an occasional dumbbell curl in the mirror, in the room, 35 pounds.
that's
It's
always
pretty
been your go-to.
impressive.
He has pretty good bicep definition because
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate the compliment.
he does a lot of dumbbell curls in random. We lived together senior year in college, and 2 or 3 times a day he would walk past the mirror, walk back, make a face, grab his one dumbbell, and then just
Yeah, I
put it
remember
down.
we had a toga party one time, and I cranked him out right before the toga party. That kind of sounded bad, but anyway, you did do some nice, and then
Yeah.
had it was great. But no, I'd stopped. But I've thought about.
Have you been doing the walking or the running that you were going to do every day?
So yes, I mean we'll talk about the New
Okay.
Year's, but I have been 7,500, at least 7,500 steps per day.
That's
minimum.
great.
What are you tracking with?
Apple Watch. I just took it off for this
Okay.
thing tonight.
You're missing
yeah.
crucial steps.
No, I'm at like 12,000.
He's not taking any steps right now.
12,000. Well, he came up and down the stairs, helped us get the chairs.
Yeah, but I'd already hit
Head
my
up.
goal at that point in time.
I want to divert to you,
Okay.
but just on this note, in tying it to hunting, I just bought my favorite. I'm a gear guy. No matter what I do, when I go 100% in, it's like not only in the endeavor itself, but like optimizing everything about it and within it. So Seek One, I love the Seek One guys, SEEK. They do urban hunting in Atlanta. I actually would like to have Lee and Drew on the podcast and Kendall too. If you ever somehow this comes to you, it'd be awesome to talk. They're Christian guys. They do urban hunting in Atlanta. So giant deer grow because people are hunting them. And so they do a lot of management of deer population because they overrun these areas and they get hit by cars and they die of unnatural causes, all this stuff. But they made it's essentially a rucksack for carrying feed into the woods. So like to get to certain spots where my cameras are, it's hard to get the corn in there because of lugging a 50-pound bag of corn's tough, right? So I bought this. It's in the garage downstairs. It's my new favorite. It's like today I hiked with, I had a 50-pound bag of rice bran and then another bag of corn on my shoulder. And so I'm like walking through the woods with 100 pounds. So I'm doing functional fitness in the woods while I'm hunting.
I saw that on that was also on your
on a
story.
story?
About,
So it's
about
like
how
a-
good a bag of corn is for working out or something like that.
This might sell something for them. But so essentially, it's a weighted.
You
vest
put
for
something on
hunters.
your story about how.
Oh yeah, that was the bag. I tagged them. Yes,
Yes.
because I just wanted people to know that this bag is
That was
super
like
high
yesterday.
quality.
Did you forget you posted that? You got
I
a lot
did.
going on.
That was 3 posts.
3 posts
So
later.
that's like no, I'm saying like 3 total hunting posts. But I didn't forget about that.
So it's a weighted vest for hunters.
No, it's a backpack, but it's super, super, super durable. So you can put You can load like 120 pounds in it. And then it clips in the front. It's like a rucksack, like an army rucksack.
Are we turning into like Cam Hanes? Is this about to be like lift, run, shoot?
No, well, I don't know. Maybe.
Every guest now has to go just lug corn through the woods before we film.
Well, no. I'm just saying that's the practical application of why you do it in the gym, because then it just translates to life, and you can just.
That's what if you've seen the Cam Hanes thing, right?
Yeah.
Every guest he has on, they do like a 20-minute segment.
Yeah.
They go up the mountain and they do the whole thing. So we could just start sending people with the corn.
I'm in.
Is there something you were going to go back to?
Iron Tribe. Tell us about.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, you've grinded.
You joined Iron Tribe. You've been going regularly. 5:45 a.m.
So since we're doing accountability too.
Yeah. 5 a.m. or 5:45.
This is where y'all can come back to me on some episodes later.
5 a.m. class.
I go to the 5 a.m. class 3 days a week.
Savage.
Rough.
That's the thing, though. That's what I was about to say on accountability. Getting up early, not hard for me. Working out, not that hard. Eating. I love good food.
Yeah.
And if I work out, I just eat more good food.
It just becomes a net zero.
Exactly. So when I ask you if you've been doing your workout plan, you can just retort back, have you been eating right?
Oh, I mean, I don't mind you asking me about my workout.
No. I'm saying I want you to do that for the accountability.
Oh, I see. Okay. I will definitely.
But Iron Tribe has been awesome. It's
Would you like a Teams invite every day?
I did used to invite him to lunch on Google or Outlook calendar.
I'd have dropped him as a friend a long time ago.
I really enjoyed it. It's one of the main reasons I did it is it's like 2 minutes from my house. Which on a side note, I have one of the worst. I went to breakfast with Brock this morning. One of my worst qualities is
I didn't get invited.
Sorry.
We actually went with a
guest. Hope you guys didn't talk about podcast stuff.
We did go with a guest, actually.
With a guest on.
Are you kidding me?
Shanker.
Okay, anyways, keep going.
Gosh, yeah.
I saw him at the gym later, so we kind of all touched base with him today, I guess.
Hello. I'm almost never late anywhere. I think being on time is very, very important. It's important to me. For me to be on time, it's important for someone else meeting with me to be on time. I try to always be on time or early, really. But anytime I'm going somewhere that's within a 5-minute drive, I'm going to be late. So like Iron Tribe, I roll in, it starts at 5. I'm there at 5:01 every morning because it's a 2-minute drive from my house. Breakfast, we're supposed to be there at 6:15. I was there at 6:20.
Oof.
It's this weird thing. You tell yourself, oh, it only takes me 2 minutes to get there, but then I only give myself negative 3 minutes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds like a personal problem.
Well, no, I mean, I think
it is.
That's a fair point. But you were dressed nice, so I mean, that kind of took away from. I mean, so if you show up and you look good, then it's.
I mean,
everybody
let's do the
forgets
math
what time
here.
You got there. I mean,
rolls into the gym at 5:01.
Yeah, I mean, you had a whole.
Hits a nice 2016-12 8-4 Metcon.
No, the 5 a.m. was the strength class today, so we did
some heavy
deadlifts
lifting
and front squats.
Wow. Okay, sorry. Then he takes a shower, changes, looks nice, and shows up at breakfast. 5 minutes late, totally acceptable.
Yeah, nobody was thinking about it.
I wasn't necessarily worried about it, but it's just a bad trait I have of if it's close, I'm going to be late. But if you're in Auburn, Iron Tribe is awesome. It has been a great spot for me. The people there are a ton of fun, good environment, good workout.
Yep, good coaches.
And there's something, anything you're doing, the accountability is nice because, man, when it was cold and dark at 5 a.m.
Running 200 meter. Oh, you were doing strength. You didn't even go outside.
But I'm talking about getting up.
Oh, yeah, to walk
if I wasn't,
truck, 50 feet.
If I wasn't paying and knowing that I've signed up for this class and the coaches are going to ask me the next class where I was, I might have slept in.
Public shame.
Mm-hmm. So that's why we're publicly shaming Brock.
Let's go back to the diet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we eating? Where are our pain points, and where do we feel like we lose that battle?
Snacking.
Okay.
And
all throughout the day, just little snacks.
No, it's like usually I start off pretty strong with breakfast usually. Lunch I do.
What's breakfast?
Kind of depends. Like
People want to know.
Yeah.
People want to know you.
Chappies.
No details.
Today I have Chappies because I met with Brock, but
SEC
like
wrap.
Monday morning
It's okay.
Monday morning when I went back home,
eat
I
it.
had ground turkey and eggs in a little bowl.
Okay.
So that's great.
Just protein on protein on protein. No carbs, very little fat.
I
Just
added like
bam.
I added a sprinkle of cheddar cheese.
More protein.
Literally
little
a sprinkle, not
more, very little carbs.
Yeah, no carbs. This was just
You need
Again.
a little bit of carbs for the fuel there.
well.
Do you eat before you go to the gym at 5 a.m.? Empty stomach. Do you chug a glass of water?
Electrolytes, creatine, and vitamin C.
Man, you're like a bodybuilder.
But see, then it just like progressively gets worse
Yeah.
throughout the day. So a lot of days at lunch, I go and meet someone, and so I just eat whatever place I go to eat, which can often like last week I went to Moe's Barbecue and I got wings and mac and cheese,
Yeah.
and today I went to Salsarita and I got just a bowl of queso and chicken and rice with the chips on the side.
Yeah.
But then dinner, Summer cooks very healthy, but it's almost sometimes too healthy to where it's like lighter meals. And so then my portion control, I just keep eating it to feel full.
Uh-huh.
We're going to get back on track here. I kind of gave my little spiel at the beginning, but I want to hear, and I think the listeners would like to hear, let's start with Brock. Just what the experience of doing a podcast has been like for you. Practically, how has that been? What's been challenging? What's been weird? What's been good? And then, like, what have you learned? Either from the episodes or just from even doing a podcast. Like, putting yourself out there. What has it been like?
I should have came prepared.
Jeez.
I mean, I didn't come prepared at all.
Hey, I know you've probably.
this
I know
is-
you probably
I can
haven't
come up with something.
I don't know if you've ever done this before. Keep the
haven't.
mic closer to your face, please.
Is it far away?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Has it
keep
been
getting
bad?
progressively further.
Also,
back
this
the
is
whole
good.
night.
This is good for the listeners. And
If it's been bad, has it really been bad?
I know this is your first night, but
this is really good for the listeners too. If you have not been able to pick up from the episodes, you're getting to see how the sausage is made. That there is zero preparation. There's a little bit of preparation and then too much preparation. So
my preparation is just lived experience. That's my preparation.
Yeah. So I'll
Thank you.
just kind of go at it from multiple angles.
wherever you want to take it, I just gave
Cover
you.
this
I gave you
thing.
Yeah.
plenty to run.
So-
with. You don't have to hit it all.
One thing that I said from the beginning, which is interesting, I don't have a reason why, but I have not listened to any of the episodes
Okay.
since we've released them. I will not.
Disappointed.
Clips or
I've listened to
anything,
clips.
or
Yeah, because I help with the.
have you listened to parts or nothing?
No, I've listened to the clips because I help with the social media aspect, but I have not listened to the full episode, but I remember everything in full from the actual night.
Yeah.
That may change in the future, but right now I'm just sticking with that. I don't.
We got to
have
get
a-
better guests or
No, it's just more of a
different co-hosts,
no. I
different
mean,
producer.
I don't know what the
Okay.
right answer is there, but I just decided that I'm not going to for the time being. Not because I don't want to. I'm just kind of soaking it in the moment. But anyway, so I have not listened to the two we have released. Technically three. I did listen to the first one
The little intro one.
because you told me to listen to something, and you make some good points.
Can I read a text that just came in?
For sure, yes, absolutely.
This is, I'm not just anonymous. Hey, brother, it took me 2 days, but I just finished Entrusted and wanted to say how thankful I am for your perspective and exposition of Matthew 6. Going through a really tough time right now, hit a tipping point today. That part of the podcast was extremely timely for me. I'm praying blessings on the reach of the podcast. P.S. I enjoyed the Grant interview too. Y'all are doing a great job. How about that?
It's been awesome to
Literally
get that
just
stuff.
came in right now.
Yeah.
Praise
Your
the Lord.
story was really. I enjoyed your story.
Thank you.
We'll get to
I
Blayne back in a
enjoyed-
second. Let's
I
focus on
enjoyed
Brock.
telling my story.
I know, but it's just part of-
We've released that when people know.
know.
I want to hear about Brock.
No.
That's been one of the big feedbacks, by the way, is that Brock doesn't talk enough. Like, not in a bad way. Like, people want more Brock. So let's give him some Brock. Give the people what they want.
So I will say in the beginning, typically I'm not very shy. I would say not shy, but I would say in the earlier episodes I was feeling uncomfortable on camera, uncomfortable on the mic. So I was trying to figure out the aspect of, what the Lord was entrusting, going along with the podcast, what he was entrusting me with in terms of where I would be positioned and how I would share. It also was.
Let's get vulnerable. Why were you uncomfortable?
I mean, gosh, let me finish the question. Jeez.
No. Why are you uncomfortable?
It's not that I wasn't
live learning.
No, it wasn't that. I don't know if I was not uncomfortable. I think it did not help, and it was great that we got the episodes. But I'm not a big golfer, so I didn't.
We could tell.
Yeah, I think it's a great sport though. I do. I just wish I got into it. But you asked me about
threw like an explosive news story in Grant's lap.
Yeah.
That would. You asked semi-ignorant questions about me and my career.
Well, that was just. I'm
just kidding. I literally made that up.
The Grant Horvath question was from somebody else. They asked me to ask it, and I had no idea.
It was great. Brock's like, so Grant, never heard of you. Don't know who you are. Did a little research this afternoon.
Congrats on the success. Let me make this clear too. This is kind of funny. What Brock's research is, and I actually talked to the same person Brock talked to before we did this.
Yes. Who's a big golfer
and a big listener. He's been a faithful listener.
He has. Yeah.
I talked to that person, and I kind of asked him, like, what would you be interested? Like, I wanted to know from someone that was interested what they would want to know. Everything he said, Brock said in the interview. So that was Brock's prep. Yeah. That was the extent of Brock's prep is bringing listener questions, which we need it.
Okay.
Bring the people what they want.
No, but
why were you uncomfortable?
Just to go back to it. I don't think I was uncomfortable. I think it's just figuring out, I want this to be more about the guest, less about me, less about us, but at the same time being able to share kind of, me and Ben kind of took from the beginning the standpoint of that. Not that we weren't entrusted with anything, but maybe we didn't have a well-defined, I don't want to say not well-defined because we do have defined entrustment that we were, but we more, when I was sharing with him, was trying to figure out what that was that I was entrusted with. Obviously, you listen to 6 guests at this point in time, 7 guests, and they've all been entrusted with a lot of incredible things. And so I think, maybe it was a young age, maybe it was just figuring out that the avenue in which I could make an impact or felt like I could make an impact. But I think I have progressively gotten more of myself. Would y'all agree?
Yes.
Okay.
You also are way more of yourself when it's just the 3 of us, which is why I think we're going to do these episodes a few times because the people want that. But
well, I don't like to I don't want to take away from them, but I agree. But I have gotten more progressively. I feel like in the last 2, but like the Bryan Bros.
So you'd say you're more on like the progressive left side of things.
Yeah, sure. Clip that.
But Brock, I want to interject just because I think you know this, and I want to make sure the viewers and listeners hear this too. But
I use my right.
The
hand
whole
also left.
The whole point of the podcast is that we are all entrusted with something. So it's not that you're not, and it's not that the guests have been entrusted with anything that's more meaningful in the grand scheme of eternity. Mm-hmm. But that's actually, and you said this from the very beginning, which is what's cool, I think, for people to see you learning this as we're going. Mm-hmm. What you said from the very beginning is you wanted to learn what you're entrusted with. Mm-hmm. The whole time, whether it was big things, little things, you had things that the Lord had given you to steward, and you've just been learning that that's what it is. That Correct. The little things that in your mind, for the little things is what you are entrusted with.
No, for sure.
And as you get more comfortable with that, I think that's where I think some of your comfortability has come is you've learned that through these episodes, and it's allowed you to be comfortable in that.
No, for sure.
And I think the other thing you said is, and I actually was probably the worst of the 3 of us about wanting to really focus on the guests, and I think that's super important. But the ultimate goal of the podcast is to glorify the Lord, and I think that there's a lot that He can be glorified in people watching us learn through this process and pointing it back to Him. And I think you've done that. So keep it up. I appreciate that.
Well, I'd say, like, to second that, I think too, entrusted means a whole lot, right? Like you said, the small stuff. I think internally too, we all feel that at times, selfishly, sinfully, you name it, that we would, quote unquote, like to be entrusted maybe with more, or maybe a higher calling or whatever it may be. I think for me, like, sure, I'd like to sit across the table and, I saw a guy that sold a company for a lot amount of money and gave back to his employees. And of course that would be like an ideal if I lived the perfect life that I would want selfishly, like that would be something that I would love to do and give back and do those things. But, that's not my life right now. So that's not what I'm entrusted with. So I think it's the battle of, being okay where you're at and then finding what the Lord has entrusted you where you're at today. And so that's been encouraging because the more I look at my life with my job, with my wife, with my friends, I mean, the one thing that was, I've been blessed with having some of the best friends that I could ever ask for that did not come really until college and have stayed close with. And, they play a crucial role in my life, but I would also argue and say that personally, I play a pretty crucial role in their life as a close friend. And so it's not that I can attest. Not building myself. Sorry, I like that high five. Not building myself up to that, but just meaning that, I'm very, I don't want to say selective, but I go all in with certain friends, and that comes with a lot of accountability. It comes with a lot of,
Blayne, you know how you like to talk about how you go all in on different things? Brock goes all in on friends. Like, there's some things he doesn't go all in on. Friends, he goes all in. And, actually, I'll challenge you live on air. One of the things that
I'm inferring live on the air that Brock and I aren't friends because he hasn't really gone all in. He's just kind of been like, guy makes me puke.
That might be something that you need to work on there.
No, I call you. I'm sorry.
You called me once, maybe.
I called you a few times.
All in would be like, call me every day. Like, what up, bro? How you doing?
I apologize.
That was fine.
But
I get
also,
it. We're not
kids.
friends.
I just, and then there's.
He understands where he stands in the hierarchy. But
I'm kidding.
One of the things I think, this is live on air, and if you don't want me to do this, I won't. But I think it's good for people.
I don't know where you're going, so I guess we'll find out.
And you can come bring it back at me. I think it's really cool to
We're going to go to scripture in a second, too. I got something to.
I love scripture.
But I think sometimes the people that aren't your friends, you kind of just kick them to the curb.
Ooh. Yes, I would say.
But because you have no energy left, because you give so much to your closest friends, like you give all you've got to your closest friends, that it's like, if someone wants to be your friend and you've chosen that that's not one of your friends, game over for that person. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's where I struggle as a person. I would say that for the most part, I believe I'm a logical person. And so I just believe that if we're not, making a meaningful relationship in my mind, then it's not really worth the small talk or past that. But that is not, that's not what Christ would do. So I think that is a good point of things that I probably could work on. But it's
transactional. If you can't give me something.
Yeah. And I think,
if you don't add benefit and value to me in my life, I got to move to the next thing.
Well, and I think
that's my instinct too. I mean, not to fight against it.
No. I think one thing that I do try to, like, even in, the trash world, I'm in the waste industry, and
the trash world.
I try when I approach a customer, especially like, at the end of the day, like they just want their trash picked up. So, for me, I try to focus on what they can get out of the deal rather than me just picking up the contract. So you're right. I mean, there is transaction in that, but I guess if I have some good of that transaction is I do try to leave the person in a better place than I found them, which is okay.
In case someone who's watching this doesn't know me and Brock and our relationship, I'm coming across a little bit aggressive on Brock here. It's because I owe him so much accountability because he has made me so much of a better man with all the times that he's called me out on different things. So if it comes across harsh, he may be waiting, like he said, he may be getting into his skin.
Harsh, he needs to get thicker.
He may be getting into his skin here before he starts shooting it back this way, but let it be known off camera, it's come a lot this way.
Yeah.
And I deserve it. But actually, the reason I wanted to point that out is we have some viewers, maybe bots, but I was looking at the analytics. We got someone from like the UAE. We got someone in Alaska. We got someone in Japan.
Wow.
So Could
It's
be
a global phenomenon.
Could be a bot, but I know I was just coming off aggressive. So if you don't know us, that's the relationship dynamic there. Yeah, if you're watching this from Tokyo,
this is a global podcast. We want to make sure we acknowledge.
I don't know how that got in their algorithm, but we may have. Brock thinks we have 18 listeners. One of them is in the UAE.
It's great.
I'm glad. Reed, I know you.
Take us to the word.
Yeah.
Well, what you were speaking of being entrusted with. The word is in here. So Matthew 25:14, for it will be like a man, talking about the coming of the Son of Man, is this portion that Jesus is speaking about now. No one knows the day or the hour. And then he gives some parables to expound upon his point. And he says, for it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted to them his property. So he gives 1 5 talents, 1 3 talents, and then 2 talents and then 1 talent. Is that right? Yeah, 5, 2, 1. The person with 5 goes and creates and stewards and multiplies to 5 more, 10 total. The person with 2 goes and makes it 4. The person with 1 is fearful of the master, buries it in the ground, waits till he comes back for it and gives it back to him. He's like, I was scared I was going to lose it, and so I just gave you this. And so the point of the story is, it doesn't matter what you've been given. You just go and you cultivate it and you be faithful with it. And so stewardship can be owning a Fortune 500 company. Stewardship can be being a teacher at a 3rd grade elementary school and stewarding that job well. It can be your marriage. It can be your being a member of a local church. It can be being a friend. Mm-hmm. It's not confined to grandeur or size or accolades or monetary gain. Sure. It is all the things that you've been given. And so
if you're catching this episode and you haven't watched the Carrie Bradley episode, a lot of stuff on those lines in that. Mm-hmm. I'd go back and watch that. But where I'm specifically thinking as you're talking about that is, I think what I struggle with and a lot of people struggle with is, let's just talk in terms of the parable. I'm going to speak kind of in those terms. When I have the 1 talent, all I want is to be given the 10 talents, and I think that I would just steward those really well. So much so that then I don't do anything with the 1 talent. I'm so focused on getting to the 10 talents, and I think I have the ability to steward that well. And I even have good intentions of, if you entrusted me, Lord, with these things, I would be able to do that, and I would do it to your glory, and I'd do it faithfully. And that whole time, I had a talent that I did nothing with. I think Carrie talked a lot about how even throughout his career and stuff, he was focused on where he was. He was trying not to he said he showed up every day just trying not to get fired. He wasn't looking towards what he would do if he was XYZ role. He showed up every day, what am I going to do in this role? And the other aspect of that, I think that's important to that parable, but just for us to think about is, and again, when we think about all the different things in our lives, we are not owners, we are stewards. Mm-hmm. And what I loved from Carrie's story was, whether he was early in his career when he was doing tasks that he didn't want to do, he was doing that for a boss, he was doing that for someone else, he was being a good steward of those responsibilities. But then we asked him later, and he said, I won't quote him directly, but you can go back and watch. But he said something along the lines of, like, even when he was the CEO, like basically the North American company, he was like, the only person he answered to was the owner. It would be really easy, the scale, the scope of what he had, to take all of that in, like you said, to be the one at the table, for him to take that and think of that as something that he owns. But he said, no, every day I showed up, even with that capacity, and I just wanted to do the best job I could for the owner. Mm-hmm. And so I think when we're going back to us figuring out different things for us, and it's just, we all want to do more. We all want to be given more. We all want to be stewards
I just
of
want
more.
I want to be the owner in that scenario.
Exactly.
No,
yeah,
for sure.
we all do.
Yeah.
And
because somehow we think
lose
that'll
sight of that.
bring us happiness, which it won't. So that's another thing with Carrie. I mean, you think you name it. I mean, we've interviewed a guy with, probably worth millions, has millions of followers on Instagram. We've interviewed a guy who's, been a CEO. We've interviewed a guy in the NFL, interviewed a guy in the PGA Tour, interviewed another guy on the PGA Tour, and also does a YouTube channel. We've interviewed a police officer. We've interviewed, every walk of life. And they all, they've had it all, and it's not. That's what I struggle with is I just know, I knowingly know this, that whatever it is I'm seeking is not going to bring me happiness, and yet somehow I still find myself wanting that. But even to go off the point of...
If you figure out how to not do that, let me know.
I know. You're right. That's going to be a battle for the rest of our lives. But it is just something to be notable. But, listening today, I was reading something online, and then the quote was, I think it was on Twitter somewhere, but it basically was like, nobody realizes it until, the next moment, but you're the youngest you'll ever be right now in this very moment. And it's like, think about, we're entrusted with how young we are right now. What we do today in our youth.
Hold on.
Sorry.
I'm thinking through that. Are you sure that's the right way to say that? Because I've been younger than this. A lot.
What do you mean? I'm saying...
I guess he's saying you'll never be as young as you are today.
You'll never be as young as you are in this current moment.
Going forward. You'll never be as young as you are again. I think is what he's saying. Like you were younger previously.
Did that come across wrong? I don't know.
Well, I'm just thinking like you'll never be as young as you are in this moment. And I'm like, well, no, I was younger yesterday, and then like 36 years and a month ago, I was even younger.
Yeah, but that's past tense. You're never getting that time back.
All right.
Right?
Back to it.
No, I was just saying,
Unpause.
Let me clarify.
Land the plane.
Meaning present time forward, you'll never be as young as you are.
We got it.
Okay. So there's a gift in that. Even, like I said, me and Ben are 25, 26, 49, something like that. No. Yeah. So I just think about that each stage of your life you're entrusted with.
That's the respect I deserve.
Yeah. You could rock.
If you went in all in on your friendship with Blayne and called him more, you'd know.
We're just podcast co-hosts. That's all we are.
It's a business. It's a business.
He called me for an entrepreneurial idea one night. I loved it. That was great. That was felt like bonding, and then he's just cold turkey since.
Blayne's a busy guy. He is a busy guy. No, and I'll just finish up. But one thing.
It might be because you left him stranded.
Oh yeah,
with a flat tire.
We didn't even. What a great story.
I was asleep. Hold on. Finish his thought. We'll get to that.
I'm sorry. That's a good story. But so I'm just moving forward, excited too that me and Ben have walked a similar life, and we've been friends for 8 years. So we've made it past the 7-year mark that they say that you'll be friends for life. So
I thought it was a marriage thing. That was 7-year itch. I thought it was marriage, not friendship.
I thought if you get used
people used to say we acted like we were married, so whatever, we'll take it.
It's weird.
He threw a bowl of Chipotle at me to end an argument. So
I don't recall that, but
apparently that is.
But no, it's been great.
Diva level behavior.
Yeah, see, I just don't remember that happening, but everybody else claims it happened. I just don't remember.
He was that angry. It's just,
I tend to think on the side of he had to have done something that provoked me, right?
I did.
Saying it was right.
He was
or
the
wrong.
problem. You weren't.
No, I should have never reacted. That's you can't react, but no, I'm just excited just in terms of, each person has an interesting story to share. And one thing that I've loved, because we've walked so close with life together, you'll probably find me looking at Ben a lot more often than not. Yeah, because we've walked through the similar things that this person or that person, the guest, whoever it may be, is talking about. And so to hear it, to, go back and see it in our lives and then maybe have a different, approach on it now is, not only, funny in some aspects, but it's also just shows so much maturity too in our life. So it's been good to see that. And I know our friends probably listen to the same thing and they think of the same things we do. So yeah, that's it. I hope that answered the questions you were asking, Ben. Definitely.
Something I was thinking about as you were talking is, for you as you're saying this, and for listeners too, it's really easy to hear all these stories, and kind of the point of these stories is to point out the Lord's sovereignty and His faithfulness in the different things that He has entrusted all these guests with. We've said that's our message from the beginning. But when we sit down here and we talk with, let's just say Carrie, for example, I know Carrie's older than Blayne for sure. I don't know how old Carrie is, but he's older than Blayne. So we're talking about his whole life.
I hope that's clear.
Just let me get to the point. We're talking about I didn't want to say his age and then it'd be way off. We're talking about his whole life.
How old's Carrie?
No. We're talking about his whole life I don't know how long that episode ended up being. Let's say an hour and a half, 2 hour. We're trying to get his whole story in 2 hours. So yes, it points back to God. Yes, it gives glory to Him. But also, if you're a listener, you can be like, wow, that sounds so easy. Like, why am I not living out that way? Like, that was really good. If we had gone and talked to Kerry when he was 26 and he was in those different roles, it might have been a different interview. Sure. And I'm not saying that it means he didn't mean everything he said in that interview, but there's different things you go through. And the whole point of all this is to point back to God's sovereignty. And so for ourselves and for the listeners, when you're in one of those hard times, that one day is probably going to be a story you could get on here or whatever and talk about. When you're in those hard times, look back again to the hard times you've already been through. How has He already been faithful? Set your mind on things that are eternal. Set your mind on the ways He's already been faithful, and just remember that He's going to be faithful. It's so easy or really, I guess it's hard in the moment. That is all that you know. That reality of that moment is all that you know. And this goes back to your Matthew 6 thing. If you are focused on the future or the anxieties, that is all that you know. But when you look back, like we've been doing with all these episodes, you can't help but see the Lord's faithfulness. So if you get any encouragement from all these episodes where we've listened and the whole point, we're drawing out the Lord's faithfulness. So you're obviously going to hear it. And so if you get any encouragement from that in your own life, if you're walking through something, look backwards and see how He's already been faithful and know that He'll continue to be faithful.
Yep. Amen.
All right, so kind of wrapping up this segment here. Ask Brock. I've kind of given my thoughts. Blayne, what's it been like for you? And specifically for you in a different way than it's been for us. We've released an episode that was interviewing you, so you've got the host aspect and kind of putting yourself out there as a podcaster, quote unquote. I guess we're legit podcasters right now. But you've also been a guest and put out some vulnerability in that. So what's it been like for you, this whole experience?
It's been a lot of fun. I think of 2 Corinthians, where basically Paul opens the letter with God being the God of all comfort and allowing us to experience affliction and difficulty and suffering in order to comfort those who are either going through those same things or might go through them. It will go through them at some point. And so there's just this beautiful built-in help and support of the body of Christ and human beings as a whole, but specifically the body of Christ, because he's writing this to churches in the first century. And so we go through hard things so that when we can then get through them by the Holy Spirit's help, Jesus holding our hand, walking with us through those things, to then turn around and be a help to the next person that goes through that. So
like the text that we got live.
That's right. So all of these, I mean, this is a formal setting to sit down and interview people and talk, but everything we're saying here and everything we're trying to be good interviewers and ask good questions and get good things for the people on the other side of the camera to and the other side of the mic to hear and see. But we're having these conversations all the time. And so it's what I mean by all that is I'm passionate about getting this just out into the world, because I find so much encouragement and kindling to the flicker of flames that sometimes just sit in my heart or my mind and don't get fanned into flame by listening to other people's stories and by talking to and listening to people that are further down the road than I am. And so that's what we're trying to do. And we're just trying to do it in real time by turning a mic on and then just putting it out into the world, that it might help somebody and that it it just can grow wings and fly and get around. And so, I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, it's a privilege to be able to do it. So
if there's anyone listening, we would love to just interview anyone that's interested in talking. If you've got a story, that the Lord has put on your heart that you would like to share, that you feel like would be something you want to talk about. I know we've had like big names on here and all the different things, but the whole point of this podcast from the beginning was to just interview people from all walks of life that are Christians, and we're going to just point back to God's sovereignty and glorify Him in that. And so if you are encouraged by this and you have something you've walked through that you think anyone out there might be encouraged by and could listen to and find something from that, come talk to us. Like, just don't be afraid to text and say, I'd love to come on, or to say, I know someone who would love to come on. Like, we are trying to do this, and we can only do it as long as we get guests. And we are happy to just talk to anyone who wants to share the story of the Lord's faithfulness in their life.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I mean,
and if we start getting thousands of messages, we'll have to hire a secretary and just, cut it off. But for now, send it.
Yeah.
Well,
right now you got to be able to come to Auburn. We don't have virtual yet.
That's right.
I was trying to find it, but I just can't find it right now. Just in the topic of sharing stuff, obviously there's a vulnerability aspect.
What's the worst thought you've had in the last 3 years?
There's a vulnerability aspect of sharing stuff on camera for sure. I think everybody probably feels that. Not everybody that speaks on camera, but just in general sharing. But just when Blayne shared about the what do you call it? I'm not good with golf, but when you took the stroke back.
Oh yeah,
the penalty.
The penalty stroke.
Yep. Sorry.
I forgot.
Disqualification.
Disqualification. But anyway, I had 2 messages I know of that, number one, were followers of you or liked you or heard about you that never knew that. And so, I don't know, I just feel like it's reaching people. I don't want to say the more vulnerable the story is, but the more stories that are out there, people can apply their lives. And like, that was something that like stood out and like I loved about you, which is like integrity is everything in my opinion. And it's so for people to notice that and then know you and not ever hear that side of, or not hear that side, but hear that story, and you get to share that, that's pretty incredible. So I just hope that encouraged guests to come on and share things that maybe not everybody knows, but maybe
everybody's walking through something, whatever it might be. And most people, when they're walking through something difficult, whether it's self-inflicted from the outside, uncontrolled, or just bad decision-making, self-inflicted, that you feel silly and isolated and alone and like you're the only one going through it, and you can't possibly talk about this with anybody because nobody would understand and they would look down on me and I'll look like an idiot. And let me tell you something, you're not so special that you're the only person in the world going through whatever that is. And if you just find a friend and talk about it, it is such a burden of weight that just gets lifted off of you, whatever that is. Anger issues, marital issues, sexual addiction, pornography, eating issues, diet issues, accountability issues. I can't balance a checkbook and keep my budget straight. I don't know how to invest. Whatever it is, we can all have hang-ups and hold-ups and insecurities, and just keeping them internal is the worst thing you could possibly do.
The devil works in isolation.
That's right.
I found the message.
Yeah, there you go.
So this person wrote to me and Ben and said, this was yesterday, doing the right thing seems to be the way to go. I remember that story about him disqualifying himself. Didn't realize it was a week later. That sucks. Then that was the message. But he said,
can confirm.
He said respect. And I don't know, I just, even if just one person like that heard it and you know, didn't feel it, you know, physically or mentally like you felt it, but now whatever, you know,
they're going to have something, they're going to have to make a right
face.
decision at some point.
For sure.
We I think we touched on it in that episode or something, but my battle with anxiety that sort of like golf birthed within me, but then overflowed into my daily life. I vividly remember the night that it went from, I am never going to have relief from this until the day I die. And so like dying is probably the best bet here. Not suicidal thoughts, not self-harm, any of that, but just like, this is going to be my lot in life until I die. And the first night that I saw just like the faintest light at the end of a tunnel was sitting down with friends and the wife just kind of openly conversing about some struggles with anxiety she had in her daily life, and that she started getting counseling and she went to her doctor and started taking some medication, and her whole world just changed. And I just remember sitting on the couch being like, I'm not the only person that deals with this stuff. And that was January of 2018. I'll never forget it. And it was true for me in that, and that's the power of it, regardless of what your hang up is.
Absolutely.
So,
good word.
Action-packed episode right there.
You talk about hunting. I didn't hunt in my 20s because I was so anxious. Like, I couldn't go sit alone in the woods by myself because I was like fearful that something was going to happen to me and then nobody was going to find me and I was going to die in the woods. Like, that was an active thought. And so I wouldn't do it. And so just to tie a pretty bow on very discernible answered prayer and God's faithfulness to me and my story. When I climb a tree now in a climber, and I would akin it to, you mentioned claustrophobia on one episode. I used to put that akin to being like feeling strain. Like when you go up in a climber, it's like you're using teeth on a upper part and a lower part to get up the tree, and you're like gripping in, right? I wouldn't do it because I'd get to the top and then like, what if I have a panic attack up here and then like I can't get down? And so when I climbed a tree 30 feet today to get my rope set and put my bow hook up there, and I'm standing up at this tree just looking at this beautiful forest by myself in the middle of the woods. And I actively had the thought like, God, I'm so thankful that I can just do this, and I'm like enjoying it, and I'm free, and I got no fear. And that might seem so stupid to a redneck who's been hunting their whole life, but I'm out there thinking 7 years ago I would have never been able to do this. And like, I'm out here I'm taking pictures, and I'm just like, I'm 30 feet up in a tree. And so that's literally something that happened this afternoon that is a reminder of just deep into the night prayers I cried to what seemed like nothing, and God heard every one of them. So
good word. Listeners, if there's something on your heart, first take it to the Lord, of course, but go talk to someone. I think if you take anything from all that, go talk to someone, find a close, trusted friend, find a pastor, counselor, but just talk to someone.
Please.
Good word.
It'll change your life.
Hey guys, this is Blayne, one of the hosts here at Entrusted. We are really grateful you chose to spend some time with us today. We know you have lots of options, and we hope that the thoughts and the messages from this talk we had with our guests really propelled you to explore the design that you were created for. The best ways to support us, check out our socials, like, subscribe, leave a review, tell your friends, family, coworkers, neighbors. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope you'll tune back in next time.